If your skin feels looser than it used to, if your jawline isn't as sharp, if you've noticed sagging around your neck, your eyes, your cheeks, or your belly, there's a good chance you've spent years trying to fix the wrong problem. And if you're in your 50s or your 60s, what I'm about to show you matters more right now than it ever has before. Because the thing causing this doesn't slow down at this stage of life. It speeds up. This video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your doctor before making any health decisions. My name is Dr. William, and this channel is dedicated to practical, evidence-based senior health. If you have not subscribed yet, do that now, so you never miss what we cover. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Your skin does not lose its firmness simply because you got older. It loses its firmness because the collagen holding it together is being destroyed from the inside every single day in a process you cannot see and cannot feel happening. And here's the part that should probably frustrate you. Most people in their 50s and 60s spend real money on creams, serums, and treatments that never touch the actual cause. They're treating the surface while the real damage is happening underneath it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's attacking your collagen, why it gets worse specifically after your 50s, and 5 things you can start doing today that work with your body instead of around it. Most people believe skin sagging is just what happens when you get older, that it's gravity, or time, or simply your turn. That belief made sense at 35, when your body was still producing collagen faster than it was losing it. But here's what that explanation misses, especially once you're past your 50s. It's not that your skin wears out. It's that a war your body has been quietly losing for years finally starts showing visible results on your face. The belief that this is just aging leaves people in their 50s and 60s unprepared because it makes the problem feel permanent and unfixable, when most of what's driving it is something you actually have influence over. So let's go inside your skin and look at what's actually happening. There are 3 forces working against your collagen every day. The first is oxidative stress. Your body is constantly exposed to things that generate unstable molecules called free radicals, sun exposure, pollution, stress, processed food, and even ordinary metabolism just from breathing and existing. Think of free radicals as tiny sparks. One spark, no big deal. But millions of sparks a day, repeated for years, slowly burn through the structural proteins that hold your skin's shape. This is happening at every age, but after your 50s, your body's own antioxidant defenses, the systems that used to clean up those sparks before they did damage, become less efficient. So the same daily exposure that your skin shrugged off at 35 starts leaving a mark in your 50s and 60s. The second force is glycation. This one gets talked about far less, and it deserves more attention. When you eat a lot of sugar or refined carbohydrates, that excess sugar can attach itself directly to your collagen fibers. Picture a trampoline. Collagen is the springs. When sugar molecules stick to those springs, they stiffen and become brittle, like dried-out rubber bands instead of fresh ones. Scientists call the resulting compounds advanced glycation end products, AGEs, fittingly. Once collagen is glycated, it loses its bounce permanently. It doesn't repair itself the way undamaged collagen can. The third force is the one that explains why this gets so much worse after your 50s specifically. Your fibroblasts slow down. Fibroblasts are the cells deep in your skin whose entire job is to manufacture new collagen and elastin. Think of them as a small factory running around the clock. In your 20s, that factory runs at near full capacity. By your 50s and 60s, output can drop substantially, while the damage from oxidative stress and glycation keeps arriving at the same rate or faster. So what does that mean for you right now if you're in this age group? It means you're not just losing the war faster, your factory making reinforcements is also producing less. Less collagen is being built, while more is being torn down. That gap is what shows up on your face as sagging, fine lines, and skin that doesn't bounce back the way it used to. This is not inevitable decline. It's a math problem, production versus destruction, and math problems can be influenced. Now let's talk about the two mistakes I see people in their 50s and 60s make most often, because both of them quietly widen that gap. Mistake number 1, treating only the surface. Topical creams can hydrate and temporarily plump the outer layer of skin, and that's not nothing. But most over-the-counter products can't meaningfully rebuild collagen that's already been glycated or broken down by oxidative stress. Because the real damage is happening in deeper layers, those products were never designed to reach. If the war is being fought underneath, and your only strategy is treating what's on top, you're going to keep losing ground no matter how much you spend. This mistake is more costly after your 50s specifically, because your fibroblast factory is already producing less. So every bit of internal support you're not providing matters more than it did at 35. Mistake number 2, not adjusting diet as the body's chemistry changes. A diet of refined carbohydrates and sugar that your body could mostly compensate for in your 30s and 40s starts contributing more directly to glycation in your 50s and 60s. Because your collagen turnover has slowed and damaged fibers stick around longer instead of being replaced. People often keep eating the same way they always have, not realizing their body is now processing that sugar very differently than it did decades earlier. Here's where the research gets genuinely interesting and where there's real reason for hope. Researchers studying skin aging have spent considerable time on a specific group of plant compounds called polyphenols, and one of the most studied sources is high-quality extra virgin olive oil. 3 compounds in particular keep showing up across studies on collagen and inflammation. The first is hydroxytyrosol, one of the more potent antioxidants identified in food, studied specifically for its ability to neutralize the free radicals driving that oxidative stress damage we talked about. Think of it as a rust remover for the sparks hitting your collagen. The second is oleuropein, which has been studied for its role in supporting collagen structures and calming the chronic, low-grade inflammation that contributes to skin breakdown over time. The third is oleocanthol, the compound responsible for that peppery, throat-catching sting you sometimes get from genuinely fresh, high-quality olive oil. Researchers have found that oleocanthol acts on some of the same inflammatory pathways in the body that anti-inflammatory medications target. That sting isn't a flaw in the oil. It's a marker that those compounds are present. Laboratory research on human skin cells has found that applying these polyphenols to fibroblasts, the collagen factory cells, increase their activity and help them migrate and repair more effectively, which is exactly the kind of support an aging factory needs. Separately, observational research following adults in midlife who consumed more olive oil regularly has found associations with less visible photoaging on the face compared to those who didn't, even after researchers tried to account for sun exposure and other lifestyle factors. Associations like this don't prove cause and effect on their own, but combined with the cellular research, they paint a consistent picture. And here's a genuinely counterintuitive fact. The benefit doesn't appear to come from the fat content of olive oil at all. It comes from these specific plant compounds, which means not all olive oil delivers the same benefit. And a lot of what's sold on store shelves has lost most of its polyphenol content by the time it reaches your kitchen. Because heat, light, and time degrade these compounds steadily. A second counterintuitive fact, squalene, a compound your own skin naturally produces to stay supple, peaks in production around your late 20s and early 30s and declines steadily after that. Olive oil happens to be one of the richest dietary sources of squalene available, meaning as your body's own supply winds down, food can help supplement what it used to make on its own. So here's the good news, and this is the part most people in their 50s and 60s never hear framed this clearly. Your body can still respond to support, even though the factory has slowed down. It just needs the right inputs, consistently, over time. Let's talk about 5 specific things you can start doing. Fix number 1, and the most important. Prioritize genuinely fresh, high polyphenol olive oil daily, roughly 2 tablespoons, ideally with food. Look for a harvest date on the bottle, not just a best by date, and aim for oil less than a year or so old in dark glass from a single country of origin rather than a blend. This matters more after your 50s specifically, because your fibroblasts need every bit of cellular support they can get, and degraded oil, with most of its polyphenols gone, simply won't deliver it. Fix number 2. Reduce refined sugar and refined carbohydrates. Not eliminate them entirely, just meaningfully reduce them. Remember the trampoline. Every excess sugar molecule is a chance to stiffen collagen that your body is already struggling to replace fast enough. This is free. You can start today, at your next meal. Fix number 3. Prioritize protein, particularly foods containing the amino acids your body uses to build new collagen. Things like bone broth, eggs, fish, and leafy greens paired with a vitamin C source, since vitamin C is required for your body to actually assemble collagen properly. This matters more after your 50s, because your factory's raw material supply chain needs to be fully stocked, not just running. Fix number 4. Protect your skin from unprotected sun exposure, which remains one of the largest sources of the oxidative stress driving collagen breakdown. But you don't have to avoid the sun entirely, just avoid burning. This becomes more important after your 50s, because your skin's own repair capacity for sun damage has also slowed down alongside everything else. Fix number 5, and this one surprises people. Prioritize sleep. Collagen repair and much of your skin's regenerative activity happens overnight, and sleep architecture changes after 50. Less deep sleep, more nighttime waking, which means your repair window is already shorter than it used to be. Protecting even 30 extra minutes of consistent, quality sleep can give that shortened window more to work with. Start with fix number 1 and fix number 2 together. If you do nothing else from this list, those 2 alone address both sides of the equation. So here's what to remember. 1. Your skin isn't sagging simply because you're aging. It's sagging because collagen destruction is currently outpacing collagen production. 2. That gap widens specifically after your 50s because your fibroblast factory slows down. 3. Oxidative stress and glycation are the 2 main forces tearing collagen down, and both are influenced by daily habits. 4. Topical products alone can't fix internal damage. You have to support the system from the inside. 5. Fresh, genuinely high polyphenol olive oil, less sugar, adequate protein with vitamin C, sun protection, and quality sleep are 5 concrete places to start. 6. If you notice rapid or unusual skin changes alongside other symptoms, that's worth mentioning to your doctor, since it can occasionally point to something else entirely. 7. This is not inevitable decline. It is a fixable gap, and your body is still listening. 8. Start with just 1 change this week, not all 5 at once. If someone in your life, a parent, a sibling, a friend in their 50s or 60s, has been pouring money into creams that never address the real cause, send them this video. It could change how they think about their skin for the rest of their life. This channel is dedicated to practical, evidence-based senior health. If you have not subscribed yet, do that now so you never miss what we cover.